I, like you, may be one of those people that has nostalgia over Vice and thinks, God, do you remember when Vice was good? It was a long time ago now. A very, very long time ago. The fact that Vice has become the complete polar opposite of what its creator is, Gavin McGuinness, is one of the greatest head scratches of our time. Vice has gone down the path of, well, a path that a lot of online sort of news, these sort of online news outlets have gone down. People call it wokeness, but I call it haterism. They've just gone down a path of hatred where they just hate on stuff continuously. Vice is no different to places like Vox and so on. I can't be bothered to name anymore. It's just pure hatred. And so it's no surprise that they'd probably find a problem with Dave Chappelle's latest special, when they just spew out some absolute hatred on it. So he says, you can definitely skip Dave Chappelle's new Netflix special, Sticks and Stones. It was a good title, Sticks and Stones. Remember the old saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me? Well, we live in a time where sticks and stones aren't nearly as powerful as words, because words are so powerful that apparently they can cause major internal injuries to organs. The comedian doubles down on misogyny and transphobia in both the special and the hidden bonus scene that follows. Problematic. Dave Chappelle made a return to Netflix on Monday with a new stand-up special, Sticks and Stones. Fans quickly realised that, if you watch until the very end, the special has a secret epilogue called The Punchline. Well, I haven't watched it yet, so thanks for ruining it for me. Where Chappelle answers questions from audience members who went to his separate Dave Chappelle on Broadway stand-up show last July. The special takes the comic's anti-wokeness shtick to a new level, and the whole thing is repetitive and exhausting enough that it's a slog even to make it to the Q&A. Now, I don't think there's anything, I mean, if you're that woke that you're just unwilling to laugh at anything, it's your problem, isn't it? And I don't think you could ever say about a Dave Chappelle show or anything that's done that it's a repetitive and exhausting slog. I think that's your opinion, and your opinion is wrong. Yeah. Chappelle's controversial 2017 Netflix special, Age of Spin and Equanimity, honed his voice as a comedian wary of progressive criticism. Yeah, it was very accurate. And controversial only in your eyes. It was not controversial. Like, when the Chappelle show came out back in the day and they did the whole, the black-white supremacist, I didn't think that was controversial, but people thought that was controversial. That was controversial in essence, what he did there. That Netflix special and the other one, all of them, nothing particularly controversial about it, to be honest with you. Like walking the line very well. But no, it's Vice, so it's got to have a problem with it. They just got to have a problem. That voice is even sharper in his latest special. At one point in his routine, he says he doesn't believe Michael Jackson molested young children. Well, most black people don't. This is a problem. It's true. Well, what's your point? What, do you think they did? You may think he did. I think he did. Other people think he did. Other people think he didn't. Do we know? Do I know personally if he did molest kids? I have no idea. I just think there's a lot of smoke. There's a hell of a lot of smoke, and there's no fire. It's just the smoke, baby. There's too much smoke, man. He continues by saying that if Jackson did, the children should have felt lucky their first time was with the King of Pop, adding, do you know how good it must have felt to go to school the next day after that shit? Yes. Chappelle. Right, you've got a problem with that hilarious joke. I mean, do you not understand how that joke works on so many levels? Right? The thing is with Michael Jackson fans is that there's just like, that is kind of the thing they would actually say in defense of him. Like, even if all the evidence is presented, they'll still deny it happened. But if they actually had to admit that Michael Jackson did do some boo-boos to children, that is the kind of thing that they would come out with. It's called a joke. It's a joke. That's something you've got a problem. You've got a problem with a joke. You've got a problem with this joke. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? Like, what? just like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. That's it. Oh, it's not for me. Do you know, that's what I often say about stuff. I really don't like superhero films and shit like that. I don't go pooing all over them. because like they make billions of dollars, and I'm going, oh, no one should watch that. I'm just like, it ain't for me. It's just not. I just go, oh, that's not for me, and then I move on with my day. You know, I don't go on a tirade about it. You know, I could do. Probably get loads of clicks for that, wouldn't I? Chappelle also returned to his now infamous obsession with making fun of trans people, saying, trans people hate my fucking guts and I don't blame them. I can't stop writing jokes about these M-bombs. This time, those jokes included asking the audience how funny it would be if he was actually a Chinese person stuck inside a black man's body, which, you guessed it, also included a racist impression of a Chinese person. That's something he's always done. You see, what you don't understand, what your family missed the point of, is Dave Chappelle always challenged racial stereotypes. That's why he got conflicted over it. This is why he went to Africa and everyone thought he'd lost his mind, because he was conflicted. He's a man that has a conscience about what he does, because he walked away from $50 million. That's this is the person you're trying to shit on, is someone who has such a moral compass that he walked away from one of the biggest deals at the time and just fled to Africa and just completely destroyed his reputation and got blacklisted in Hollywood because he was morally conflicted. You name me one other person that's actually done that. Tell me, would you do that? You wouldn't fucking do that, whoever the hell you are. I guarantee it. I mean, I don't know you. Maybe you would. Prove me wrong. But I doubt it. You're still writing for Vice, so you must be desperate for money. The fact is, you like, that's something he does. Like, he always challenged racial stereotypes, and admitting that, you know, they are bad, but they are also kind of funny, because they are. Like, it's just, like, you know? Well, he will go as hard on his own race as he would on another race. That's what's so good about it. You know, it's very refreshing. Do you know what I'm saying? He also found time to defend fellow controversial comedians. Kevin Hart. Well, Kevin Hart's controversial now, is it? The Prince of Beige. Like, Mr. Hollywood is controversial now. And Louis C.K. painting them as victims of an overzealous call-out culture. Yeah, good. By the time the Q&A plays at the end of the special, Chappelle has already shown his unapologetic approach to courting controversy. His answers put that into even starker view. He says that a white woman left one of the practice sets for the special at the Punchline Comedy Club in San Francisco, telling him, "I'm sorry, I was raped." Chappelle says he replied with, "It's not your fault that you were raped, but it's not my fault either. Ta-ta, bitch." It's you clearly don't understand the mindset of a comedian, isn't it? It's like, you don't go on stage and get owned by an audience member, like because someone gets offended. This is your time. And the one rule about comedy, do you know what it is? It's to be funny. It's to be funny. It does what it says. You know, a stripper is sexy, a comedian is funny, right? A runner runs. Do you know how this works? So do you think Usain Bolt's going to stop running because it offended someone? So, I can't run. Could you stop running so fast and breaking records? Oh yeah. I forgot to factor in your feelings and your worldview whilst I was doing what I do best. I'm terribly sorry. It's like, what you going there? Like, why are you going there if you're going to get offended by stuff? And also with the whole trans thing, it's like, why are you constantly sticking up for trans people? Like, as if they can't stick up for themselves. You know, you don't get a special invite to Trans Club just because you virtue signaled your way in. You know, you don't knock on Trans Club and say, "Can I join Trans Club?" Are you trans? No, I'm not. But I always stick up for you. I am a champion of your cause. I'm always getting offended on your behalf. Like, well, good for you, but you can't come in still. You do know that's a thing, yeah. Trans Club is real. You're not getting invited in just because you're getting offended on behalf of other people. The fact is, if you're going to choose a lifestyle, or you're going to choose something to happen, you know, if you're going to choose a lifestyle, right, and make this very conscious decision, like, where's the shame in being who you are and owning it? And if people are going to mock it, then you should, like, mock yourself. Like, why take yourself so fucking seriously? Like, this is the problem. Like, why are people taking themselves so seriously and all these things way too seriously? When you take yourself too seriously and you're consumed by your own ego, that you can't just have a look at yourself going, but that is quite funny. Look at me, what am I doing? What am I up to? What am I up to right now? You know, what's this all about? Can I mock myself? Can I take it on the chin? like a human being? Yes, of course. That's like part of the human experience. You know what I mean? If you're doing something in your life and you should never. A wise man once said, and a wise man is Kevin Gates, said if you're doing something and you're ashamed of it, then you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. And there you go. So you shouldn't be ashamed of what you're doing. So therefore, you should be able to take any sort of mockery because it's like, oh, that's fine. It's not like it's an attack. It's just making light of everything. But oh no. So to which the audience laughed raucously. Well, you would do because it's like, whoa, he went there, as though that were a real punchline. Well, it was a punchline. He then followed with a story about sparking an unlikely friendship with a trans woman who he says was laughing the hardest out of anyone at the trans jokes in his practice set. The strange story of camaraderie seemed to highlight the common accusation that Chappelle is only interested in repairing his relationship with marginalised groups if he doesn't have to change anything about himself. Chappelle has always been a daredevil comedian willing to take a controversial stance or downplay a serious controversy for laughs, including his early 2000s skits about R. Kelly's court trials on Chappelle's show. Right, you got a problem with the I'll piss on you thing? My God. How can you not see the absolutely hilarious side of a grown man on video pissing on a 14-year-old? I mean, good Lord, that's just ludicrous things. And that's so ludicrous that you have to laugh at that. But now he chooses to blatantly ignore the historic criticism against his style of comedy and the new loud and clear criticism from the trans community. That just sounds like it's coming from you. His approach comes off like a defiant rejection of change at any cost, as he keeps going down the path, drawing attention to the worst aspects of his important career. The biggest cost will be tarnishing his own legacy. No, because he does what he does it well. He's not going to cower down to this kind of nonsense. That's when your art dies, because it's, art outlives its time. Do you understand? Great art will outlive its time. So at the time, an artist can be appreciated or not appreciated, but if it stands the test of time, it means it's timeless. It means they were making an impact at a point in time. That's how you achieve greatness. So you don't react to like the changing of the times because it's because people expect you to suddenly go along with your self-delusions and this fantasy land that we've created. Not everyone is willing to live in clown world, right? So stop trying to make everyone live in clown world. Like this whole approach is like dictating the rules to people who don't give a fuck about the rules. Do you understand? Like there's a lot of us out there who don't care about any rules. Didn't care about rules 10 years ago, and I don't care about the fucking rules now that are dictated to us, right? Live by a code of ethics, by my own moral compass, and I stick to my values, and my values do not change. And therefore, if you're going to go against, if your ideology conflicts against my values and it conflicts against my morality, I'm not going to change just because you think it's cool, you think I should fucking change. I'm not going to change myself and belittle myself. I'm not going to go against the central thing that builds my great character just because you are offended or you want to force me into doing stuff. It's not going to happen, my son. And this is a guy who says no, I'll just do what I do. Fuck you, I'm rich, bitch. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Click the bell. Send me death threats with newspaper cuttings, please. I quite like